Hello everybody, Mike Arnold here, co-founder of Pat Trading Partners along with Bob Iacchino. Quick Bitcoin and Ethereum update for the end of the week. So, nice little rally back, not quite to 37.5% level, but I'll show you where that landed based off the daily chart. Landed at a very key area. Coming back, first cross rotation zone. This is a very weak first cross. So, it's not really propelling it higher. Key resistance now, first level coming in about 10,620. If we get through that, then I'm going to watch for a return to about 10,840, 10,970, and then the 11,126 to 11,178 level. If this does not hold, it's very weak. Keep that in mind. Close below 10,254. We'll be watching for a return to this wide cluster area. You can also, as it draws back, do a GAN projection, just like I did to the upside, and help fine-tune it. So fine-tune this wide area. Currently it's 9670 to 9800, and if we do a GAN projection, it's too early to do that yet. If we get a move down, maybe I can release a video over the weekend showing that. But that's how we'll fine-tune it, and if we break through there, I'll watch for a return to the lows. I mentioned the daily chart. Here we go. Return to we're in the rotation zone. Return to the other side of the rotation zone, and that's the key resistance. So if we do get through, this is still the key resistance, about 10,800 based off the daily chart. A move through there, then we're going to watch for the higher levels. If we can't break through there and close down, now we're back down below the rotation zone. Then we're watching for those levels I listed on the 4-hour chart. Based off the weekly, let's just take a look at the weekly. So far, all we've done is dip in the rotation zone, and so this week we're back above the rotation zone. Watch for the end of the week. If we close back inside the rotation zone, then I'll start watching for the bigger pullback. And you see these levels in here. We have some key levels which would just return to the rotation zone. So this thing could still head lower and still be within the weekly rotation zone for key support. So on a weekly basis, we're still bullish. On a 4-hour basis, we're more neutral. On a daily basis, we're still bearish. So that's where we stand. Do not be surprised if we return to the lower edge of the rotation zone. So set up your stops accordingly if you're in it for short-term trades. If you're in it for long-term investments, then I'd only be worried if we close back below the weekly rotation zone, which is coming in right now about 8,000. Switching over to Ethereum, so we did our GAN projections up to this pausing bar right here to 12 and 25%. You've seen repeatedly. Gave us a minor level of 225, which was hit. The major level of 229, which is also hit. Now we pulled back. The rotation zone's flat on the 4-hour, so that's pretty much can be ignored. I'm going to update these. So now we have a major cluster at 234, and then 238.62 is the next higher level. So what we're going to be watching for is a close below 226.80 area. That would be bullish, and we'd be watching for the higher levels. A close back below really about 211. And we'd switch back to bearish mode and start watching for the lower levels. I'm going to update a couple of these things now since we've had the extended pullback to give us the bigger term levels, since this is a bigger correction. And I'll put on some other levels on the daily chart. Why don't we switch to the daily chart right now. So we can see we haven't yet hit the rotation zone, which is crossed on the daily chart. So that is something we will be watching for to the upside. If we start poking in here, it means we're poking in the rotation zone. I said I put on the other levels. Those aren't giving us a lot of other information. They just gave us a wider zone, which we'd have to refine. So that's not going to help us much. So now the major levels, if we get through, I'm going to be watching if we go back down the 191 level, of course. But the major level for me is about this 186 area. 200-day simple moving average. Below that, if we break below that, then I'll start going into real bearish mode again, which is 169.50 and 147.92. It's also checking on the weekly chart. So you can see last week closing on the weekly rotation zone. This week poking down, recovering most of it, but still below it. So we're still below the weekly rotation zone. So we're pretty much in bearish mode all across the board on Ethereum. Besides, I mentioned those two levels, bullish and bearish on the 4-hour chart. Those are more like scalping. Those are more short-term trades. But overall, it's still in bearish mode on Ethereum until we get back into the rotation zone on the weekly chart. So what we have for you on Bitcoin and Ethereum, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Bye for now.